A discussion that comes up pretty frequently in fighting games is about the online play. You guys have probably heard this before. There was a post that got made. You know, Yahozi, her Twitter is hilarious all the time. She like is really funny, and it's very rare that she tweets things like this. But this tweet got a lot of numbers, and it made me want to talk about something again. If you plan to buy the Persona 4 Arena re-release, I recommend you wait until or if rollback is out. There's no reason to purchase a fighting game without it. And oh my god, everybody went ham. There was so many people that were like, you can't stop me. I love it when my game has shitty online. I'm gonna buy this shit out of this, okay? Fuck you. Don't tell me how to live my life. How dare you? You're not allowed to tell me what to do. I just want this game. This game is the sickest game ever. Your game sucks. You're stinky. Like, it was just, people were going ham. And this video called Stop Making Excuses for Fighting Games That Don't Have Good Netcode, UI, and Online Lobbies in 2019 is, well, now going on almost 3 years, and we're still seeing the same kind of thing. The funny thing is since that video's come out, some of those things have been improved, but a lot of them are still problems.
You're a Sajam fan now?
A lot of the things that I mentioned in this video are not present even in games that I like and even in games that are big and popular. There have been issues with the online play of a bunch of games. They've been trying to add rollback into their games, and obviously having a lot of issue. There are also games that have just been re-releasing without rollback. And I think, you know, it's one thing if those games were just like, hey, we have bad online play, this is the way it's gonna go. But like the saga around Virtua Fighter's netcode was like really fascinating. I don't even know what happened. Everybody was like, guys, you don't understand. It's actually secretly the greatest thing ever. And then people tried it and they're like, oh, okay, well. It's the same thing with Persona, right? Like, I think, let's be reasonable here. I think all of us just want the game to have rollback, and if it doesn't, it's like, well, that's a shame. I'm not really interested. Like, it doesn't have a core feature that I want to play. Like, if you still are interested because you love Persona, or maybe you have a local scene or people near you to play, then sure, you know. But I think most of us, that is a feature that I think is standard for me to be interested in a game. Having the online play be playable was a very basic feature to ask for in 2019. It was a very basic feature to ask for way before that. And since then, we have started to see releases have it more, but it's still not happening. We're still not getting games releasing with functioning online play, right? It's still an issue. There is even more advanced stuff, like the ability to choose your frames when you play online. I would love it if all the rollback games had the option to set your delay. I cannot really play Europe very well with one delay frame. If I had the ability to select 2 frames or something, right, or 3 frames, if I could increase it, the number of players that I could play would increase, right, which would be a nice feature. On the next feature that this 3-year-old video talked about is I talked about good online lobbies. Boy, I don't know about this one at all, I gotta say. I feel like it only gets worse in the sense that, like, making an online lobby that's functional and also just satisfies the needs of the player is out of control. Every other game I play that's not a fighting game, when I want to play the video game, I click play and then it cues me into a match and I play. That's it. I don't have to do a running baseball slide and drop kick someone who's wielding a broom on a podium somewhere. I literally just click play and then it matches me with similarly skilled opponents in a match and I battle with them and then the match finishes. If you want to use an online lobby system because you appreciate the social aspect or there's some part of it that you like, right? There are already super satisfactory like ways to accomplish this that exists for fighting games. If you want to do like a standard lobby system, games like Skullgirls and Power Rangers already have lobbies where you can have up to 8 players or whatever, or 9 or whatever, and simultaneously have 4 matches, not just 8 people in one lobby and 1 match at a time, which is like incredibly archaic. But if you want to do pixel lobbies and stuff, like Strives or whatever, there is already an excellent example in other Arxis games, or honestly, the best example is still TFH. And it's not close. It's just, you walk into the lobby, you have your customizable character, there is ping indicators when you match up against people, something that so many games still don't do. I don't understand. Yeah, it's ping and jitter. Then at the same time in the lobby, besides just being a way to facilitate matches with people, a chest will fall from the sky and it will be a resource, and you and another player can challenge each other for this resource that is just in the lobby, right? The lobby also has PvE essentially modes that you can play with everybody in the lobby. You can all do this like big asymmetrical fighting game experience where one person gets to be this big boss creature, and everybody else is just fighting against their minions and them and stuff, right? If you want to move past a basic feature into like something you think is better, if you want to do all these other cool features, they have been done before, and there's all these really cool things that you can use an example. I'll give you some leeway, and I'm like really down to try it, but like it better be fucking great. Not being able to see the ping before anything happens, or not even knowing who's in the lobby before. I've joined in Celestial and just me in the lobby in Strive, and I'm like, well, I guess it's empty. I'll go find another lobby, and I do that like 7 times. It's wild. And another thing in this video is training mode. Frame data should just be in the game. I don't understand why this is such a problem. Strive does not have frame data in the training mode. I assume DNF will have either the colors or nothing at all. That's how Granblue did stuff too. It was like dark blue or light, and then there was like yellow, which was like neutral-ish. It could be slightly negative or slightly plus, but it was neutral-ish. That is so absurd to me. The idea to make things slightly red or blue or yellow or cyan, whatever is going on. The training mode should just have the frame data. Stuff like Tekken's punishment practice features. Those are like extra interesting quality of life features where you're like, wow, this is really cool, that are not like basic features like having good online and having frame data in the training mode. I just had another thing that I forgot. A basic online feature that was very important is instant rematch. Now, having instant rematch is like you take one of the largest strengths of fighting games and then just remove them from the equation. One of the main things about genres like other games that you play is that there's far more downtime and games are much longer. Like fighting games, one of our biggest strengths is that games are immediate. You are playing the video game so fast, and you need one person to do it instead of 60 or 100 or whatever. For Snake Man, what up?
Can we get colorblind options? I have a friend who literally can't see the charge dust fuzz in Strive.
That is also a big issue. Yeah, I know a lot of people who have trouble just seeing things in Strive in general. Besides colorblindness, also things blending together. They said they were gonna add a mode that allowed it to distinguish the background from the characters more. And I don't think they ever talked about it again. These are features that I'm like, please put in the game. Like, come on, man. And so many games are missing one or many of them. And even worse, I think, than the game's missing these features, and these features being like things you really want, is that people will just nonstop defend games for not having them. You're just like, okay, all these other fighting games have this basic feature. I would please add this very basic feature to the game. And everybody's like, why do you need such are you fucking baby mode, easy mode? You need this game to have frame data. People just say such stupid fucking things to defend companies for just absolutely not giving a fuck about them. It is out of control to me how much people defend dumb decisions or things like that. And you're just like, guys, come on. Can we just all admit that this basic feature should be in the video game? It's fine if you like games that don't have these features, because basically almost every game is missing some shit, right? It's like very rare. And if it does have all the things you like, if you like any other fighting games, then you're gonna be like, well, it's missing all these features that I really need. That shit sucks. I hate it every time. I like Strive, but I think the online lobby is a fucking disaster. I think they're horrible. I hate them. I hate how they work. I hate how badly they function. I hate that there's no ping indicator. I hate the training mode has no fucking frame data in it. I play Guilty Gear Strive every day, and I will tell you that shit is all horrible. I hate it so much. It's all so bad. If I can tell you that, then I think it shouldn't be that hard for people who love their favorite games to be like, yeah, all these features on here are really bad. It's the opposite. It makes no sense to me. You read other games, right? Like other genres, where people are constantly like, fuck this dev, they haven't added this, they haven't added that. They're so mad all the time, right? To the point where I'm like, guys, chill out. You guys are going ham. They're a little too grumpy about some things. But like fighting games are the opposite. They're like, how dare you ask for simple features in your fighting game, you piece of shit. Like, it is so weird. Every fighting game fan is like down to just die with their favorite fighting game being featureless. Fuck all these features. If this game had all those features, then people would play it, and I don't want that. I want to play my game with the people who like it right now. I can't have any new people like my game. Like, it's so weird. No new gamers. We're full here. Scram, go somewhere else. Even when it comes to like training mode stuff and trials and like all kinds of cool features, there are like way more even cool features that I didn't talk about that are like extra stuff. Like TFH has the combo thing where you can download combos. They're like, oh, you want to learn Shanty? All right, here's the Shanty folder. And you like download this, you plug it into your game, and then when you boot up training mode It just is like, okay, here's all your combo trials. Here's like basic B&Bs. Here's like this. Here's the overhead starter. This is low starter, whatever, right? That's like a feature that you like look at that. You're like, that is an awesome feature. That's really nice. The community can do that. Imagine if I could just give you a folder that's like, okay, here's all the sold B&Bs I use. It would immediately make it so much easier because you could try them in the game with the trial mode. There's a lot of indie developers, especially, who are really doing a lot of cool features and stuff. There's a lot of like different games that have cool stuff that are coming out all the time. It's a lot of the larger non-Western devs that are missing like things that you're just like, guys, come on. You know, these are all features that we all want. We've all been asking for forever. And if it doesn't exist in your game, I'm just going to be like, yeah, you guys are whack. And I think the amount of people who defend it is absurd. This is the part that fucks me up about like people doing this. You are a liar. If you doesn't play the game, it means you doesn't like it. Why should they add rollback if fake fans like you are going to drop it anyway? Meanwhile, the combo breaker Persona grand champion, the shrine to Persona in the house, they really are like this. They're like, if you don't just play the game, even if it has dog shit features, then you are a hater. Like, you're not a real fan. Fuck you. This is the attitude people have. If you're like defending basic features missing from your video game because you're just like, fuck you, I hate you, my game's sick. You know, it's just whack. It is mega whack to me. Listen, you just want rollback because it's cool to ask for rollback. It's actually not cool to ask for rollback. I don't enjoy being like, so you guys have good online? I would rather just then be like, hey, our online's great. I'm like, hell yeah, I'll play the game. It sounds sick. Like when I go out to eat, I don't like doing that, you know? I don't want to be the guy that's like, hey, this is all messed up. But if it's a dire situation, sometimes you got to do it. Like you order a hamburger and it shows up with like no bun and like no patty. It's just a piece of lettuce and a tomato. And you're like, hey, what's up? I would love if this had the other components of the burger. And they're just like, oh, our bad. And they just take it back. And you're like, well, if you're a real fan, you would just eat it without anything. I'm like, oh God. One time I ordered McDonald's and just left the restaurant without getting my order just because I wanted to support them. You're a real fighting game fan.